What's up, my friends? Welcome back for another live chat session tonight. Um, as you guys will know by now, for those who've been following us, this is all in preparation for METAL4AFRICA 2022. And that's our festival happening on the 3rd of September in both Cape Town and Johannesburg. So that's two stages, effectively, but in different cities. Same day, same gears, same spirit of heavy metal. So tonight's chat, we are joined by what I've been referring to as the Highveld Vikings, and that is FenrisWulf. Tonight we're chatting with Johan de Toit. How's it going, my brother?
Hey, how's this, buddy? Thanks for having me, dude. I'm all good. I'm all good. And how's stuff that by your side, man?
No, it's fantastic, man. It's fantastic. Like we really, I mean, it's less than 2 weeks now until show day.
Yeah, man.
So
It's crazy to think it's around the corner, dude. Like, fuck me.
yeah. And it's been like, normally when we do this festival, it's every 6 months, but now it's been like 2 years and 6 months. So the anticipation's building.
I can imagine, dude. I believe you guys are pretty happy to see the results of all the fans just like being excited for another Metal for Africa festival.
Always, always, always.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
man. Oh, yeah. It's good to hear.
yeah. So the exciting part of this festival is it's the first time we doing in Joburg. Well, no, actually that's not true. We did Joburg back in 2010. Believe it or not, like Metal for Africa actually did a bit of a tour thing, which was kind of an experiment, which worked. It was good. But I found at that time being only one man, like I couldn't do like a touring festival every year. But now we've actually got some of our own people who used to be in Cape Town moved up to Joburg. So we've got Nathan McClure busy running the show up that end, which makes it possible to now kind of do the festival on both
Yeah,
sides of the
yeah.
country. How do you
Okay, yeah.
guys feel about being involved in Metal for Africa?
Dude, man, when we got like the invitation, like, hey, do you guys want to come play Metal for Africa? I I feel it's like getting in contact by like Metal Blade or something, like a label, just be like, hey, you guys want to be part of this? So I was like, just all smiles and like I messaged the boys. I'm like, dudes, we got a big one, and everyone's just like, I don't even have to really ask the guys in the band, like, are we
Yeah.
gonna do it? Everyone's like, I better not be fucking working because I want to be there.
Oh
So
boy.
yeah, we were really excited to get the invitation. Like we've always wanted to be part of Metal for Africa, so we're really happy to be here now.
Excellent, man. Yeah, I mean, one of the big challenges for us being for most of the years primarily based in Cape Town is there's so many bands in this country who would be so awesome to have, but the distances and the cost of travel and all that jazz. So
Yeah, man.
for most of the events we've had, we can only get one or two visiting bands from outside of
Mm.
Cape Town.
Yeah, makes sense, dude. I can imagine.
But but you guys are further than Joburg. You're in Secunda. Eh?
Yes,
Tell
good.
us tell us a bit about the metal scene in Secunda.
All right, let's go. What metal scene? That's the way you start, with me. Bro. Metal in Secunda is like we have a lot of metal heads here,
Yeah.
but we have no supporting venues or anything for the music itself here. I
Uh,
mean, yeah, it's all Afrikaans and Socky and EDM, my dude. Like,
EDM nogals, eh?
yeah, bro. Like, I remember one time we were scheduled to play like a Halloween show, yeah, by one of the bars,
Yeah.
and I believe it was like 2 weeks ahead of the time before the show was to go. And this is kind of funny one. One of the local churches started a petition to get the show cancelled.
For real.
I promise you. And
Why? A little bit too much talk about Odin and
no,
Valhalla.
no, it's more. They didn't even know what the fuck the band is about. Like, there's a few metal bands scheduled to play,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh no, it's all satanic. They don't want Satanism in Secunda.
Ach,
And then the
yeah,
bar
nah.
owner was like, oh, listen, guys, I didn't care if you guys played here. I'm not bothered, but he's scared of the reputation of the bar. He doesn't want to be that bar that the whole Secunda hates on. So he's like, sorry, dudes, I have to cancel it. And
Yeah.
we've since FenrisWulf has been active, and this is since like fucking 2014, 2013.
Uh-huh.
We've only played one show in Secunda. And it was
Yo.
one show, and probably 7 months or 6 months later, that bar also closed. So currently, again, no venues for metal bands in Secunda. So it's pretty rough, dude. It's pretty rough this side.
But now Secunda had vibes previously. Like
We had, yeah.
I remember back in the I don't know, we're going back probably more than 10 years. But there was a band out there, I think they were called Elegy, and then they became
Radar
Redada of Coden.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's Shaylin's band. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
they
yeah,
did
yeah.
very well. Yeah.
Yeah, so we always had hope for Secunda, and then
Yeah, makes two of us.
yeah, well, look, I mean, there you are, there you guys are doing it. So
Hey man, someone's got to represent.
precisely. So tell me then about your guys' style of music. Like, I must just say, like, I'm a very big fan of like melodic death metal,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and that clearly is the sort of key ingredient of what you guys are. Um, Spill the beans. Tell us what it's all about.
Well, I guess to get into that like topic, let's start from the origins. So
Uh-huh.
me and Vikas, the drummer for the band, we kind of like hopped around with a few local bands that were starting here and there, and we couldn't really click anyway because most of the guys were either too drunk or too stoned to be like to work with, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and obviously, like we were aspiring to be a more of a professional act. That was
yeah.
the goal from the start. Like we look up to guys like Trivium, like what
Uh,
Matt Hafey does and stuff. It's amazing. The professionalism just oozes out of those guys, and
yeah.
that's kind of what we are after. So, yeah, we hopped around with a few bands, and then at one point I told Vikas, listen, man, instead of trying to join a band, let's start a band.
Mm,
Because most acts here are just for fun, and we want to take it to be a bit more serious with it.
yeah.
Because obviously we enjoy it and stuff, but we also want to do more with it. It's our passion, so I want to expand on it. So yeah, me being like heavy into Norse mythology and stuff, like I've read so many books on the topic and everything, and watching like Vikings and any movie with Vikings, I'm always like, ah, God, they've got that so wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I basically started FenrisWulf. So like even the name FenrisWulf, when we were picking names for the band, I was like, I want something that's gonna have impact, like, but it has to be Norse, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
So I still told Vikas, listen, dude, how about FenrisWulf, like Fenrir, like. I mean, even fucking Odin was scared of this dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's the name of a fucking power, like a kick to the
Yeah, yeah.
balls. So I guess that's how we ended up taking FenrisWulf as a name. So yeah, obviously influences. Luckily, for me and Vikas, we are both big fans of Amon Amarth.
Uh-huh.
That's obviously a big influence for the band.
Yeah.
And for me personally, as a guitar player, it was Amon Amarth and Cataclysm. Those are the dudes that got me
Ooh.
really into playing guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
So I always say my playstyle was forged as like the baby between Amon Amarth and Cataclysm. Like for me, from Amon Amarth, I learned how to construct melodies and harmonies, and from Cataclysm, I learned how to do that, but a bit more brutal. So,
Yes.
because Cataclysm, playing B standard
Yeah, yeah.
and bringing the heavy chords and chunkiness, where Amon has got the more melody and the guitars are singing together. Also
Yeah.
heavy, especially when you've got like your speed picking with the double pedals and stuff. So that's why I always like to feel like my sound as a guitar player was forged. And again, with Vikas, the drummer, being my best friend and also a fan of Amon, we kind of pulled a lot of like inspiration from them.
Yeah.
But so really, we didn't start like a Norse themed band because of Amon, but purely out of my love for Norse mythology.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Like I was like, as I know the saga so well, I can probably do a lot of cool shit for them.
Yeah.
Like when I write songs, I like to see it as in I've got a movie and I need to do the soundtrack for it.
Ah, now we're
Like
talking. Now we're
yeah,
talking. Yeah.
like I will basically like one of the songs we did. What's the song called? A God's Journey for Knowledge. This is one from our first EP actually.
Uh-huh.
So the whole song's about Odin sacrificed himself to go gain knowledge in hell and all that stuff. Get the runes and so give the people the ability to read and write. So I see this whole picture in front of me, and I'm like, okay, I know what's the story. Now I just need the soundtrack for it. So,
Yeah.
and that's basically how I write like
Yeah.
Fitness Rules the song. So I would get the picture, and I'll write the soundtrack for it, and then everyone, and I'll bring it to practice, and then all the boys just start adding and say, oh, I would try this. Why not do this? Maybe add this melody here. Oh, instead of doing this riff, try playing it a bit slower over here. And that's just how we construct the song. So,
Yeah, yeah. Put some meat on the bones.
yeah, exactly. And then the guys that joined the band later on, everyone was just kind of liking the same style of music, and it's just
Yeah.
like everything happened so naturally.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like the only clash we had was with our vocalist Henku when he first auditioned for the band. Like he was very into like Whitechapel and Job for a Cowboy and that type
Like
of bands,
super
right?
brutal.
Yeah, yeah. So he really didn't get what we were going for with the whole, buddy, we need to be able to hear what the fuck you're saying, and you need to sometimes go with the guitars and
Yeah.
shit, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So first edition for Henku, he didn't make the cut, and then a few months later, he comes back and he's like, dudes, I've discovered Death Clock and I fucking love what
Ah.
they do. Can I get another shot
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
joining FenrisWulf? And we were like, the Secunda, there's like literally like fuck all metal musicians here. So
Yeah, yeah.
do
Yeah,
it.
you got to take what you can get, eh?
Yeah. And then Henku got his second shot and he just nailed it. And we were
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is what we're looking for.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, Henku being the gifted vocalist he is, he's got this heavy, brutal sound and good, like, you can really hear what he's saying and stuff in his
Yeah, yeah.
songs. So, yeah, and like Ari's our bassist, he likes his bands he like is like As LA Dying and that type of stuff. So again, more on the melodic side. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's just like a whole band forged out of the love of melodic metal.
Yeah,
So
Oh,
it's
well, that's
just-
a
yeah.
that's a good combination, man. I mean, it's a nice
Yeah,
place to
dude.
be. And I mean,
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of bands who are driven more on the percussive elements and the rhythmic section. But yeah, I guess you got your groove bands and you got your melodic bands.
Yeah, yeah. And like something for me personally, if I look at like our local scene, I don't really see a lot of bands going for the pure melodeath sound. You know, we got a lot of slammy guys and the heavy dudes, which is all cool and everything, but I'm always a sucker for melodeath, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
nice to have more bands like that.
Yeah. Well, I like that our scene at least has that sort of diversity in it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm also like kind of on the melodeath side of things, like often looking for more. And in Cape Town, like we've like had a couple come and go, but not a lot of them that actually really stuck it out. And there was one band in particular that I'll never forget, and they were called Animus Fall. And I
Okay.
thought they were incredible. Like they had like melodies that would almost like made me think of bands like Insomnium almost. Just like those
Oh,
really
beautiful, yeah.
those really high floating melodies was beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
And their vocalist has actually gone on to do amazing things. He's the vocalist now for the Alpha Sequence.
All right, all right.
But also Dream Demon. And he's been involved in quite a few projects. He was with Last One Alive. So yeah, that guy's really gotten around. But the first time I saw him was in Animus Fall. And a
Yeah.
part of me feels that was actually my favorite band of his.
Oh shit, okay.
But yeah, it's not to say that the other bands aren't awesome, but just from
yeah.
that purely like melodic perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's actually a bit of a disappointment of mine personally that you guys are playing Joburg, not Cape Town, this
Hey, man,
time.
we really want to hit Cape Town eventually. It's a dream
Yeah.
of the band, so we really would like to go down there
Yeah,
and kick
yeah.
some ass and party with all the Vikings down
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
man.
and come and dip your paddles in the actual ocean, huh?
Yeah, you know, hey, a swimming pool will also.
Yeah.
So that's what we have right here.
Because I was thinking of like the whole Viking theme, and it's like, oh, but you guys are far from the sea, hey?
Hey, man, it's in our heart, I guess.
Yes, precisely, or like
Yeah.
genetic memory.
Yeah, man. Like I swear, I've lived this life before.
Yeah, yeah. But now tell me more about where you guys are from and where you've built your name. Yeah, I believe you have played Bloem before. I know you've obviously played Gauteng a lot because that's like the nearest place that's not Secunda, and
Yeah,
probably the churches there won't shut you down.
yeah. Luckily not, dude. Luckily not.
Tell us a bit about your development as a band in the South African scene as it stands now.
All right, cool. Well, I believe our very first show was played at one of the Rumors in Joburg. And yeah, well, it's quite a fun experience. Actually, I think one of the very early shows, now that I think of it, was at Shiva's Rockstall.
So it was in Pretoria, hey?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
now
I
that
remember
really
that
think about
place.
it. This was before, I guess, Fenris is what we are now. Like, back then we had different members as well. It was just me and Vickers, and I guess when the newer dudes came in, like, the real FenrisWulf started. So I'll consider the official, actual FenrisWulf show to be in Rumors. Still one of the old Rumors. Can't even remember which one that was in Joburg. So, yeah, that was one of our first shows. Played quite a lot of shows in Joburg. We've done Pretoria a lot, and then Bloemfontein is like one of our favorite places. to
Yeah,
play.
no, it's amazing out there.
Man, the people in Bloom just fucking go for it. Like, you feel so, you know that effect of how you feed from the crowd,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
energy.
No, Bloom is where it's at.
Oh my god, dude, the people in Bloom just like an energy drink, man.
But I'll tell you what it is about those kind of places here. Like I've also done a bit of touring in my days, and
Yeah.
I've always found that the most amazing experiences have always been the places where you least expect it. Like the smaller towns and cities. So Bloom, I've been to Bloom, I've played there. It was next level. But
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was even more amazing was way back, I think it was 2006. We played in Nullspruit, and that place was just incredible. Like, still to this day, it's probably one of those memorable gigs we've ever done.
Oh
But
yeah,
the
I know
point
what you
is, I
mean.
think those people are hungry. Like
Yeah, man, that's
they
it.
don't get live metal knocking on their door every week. And I think we who live in the cities like Cape Town and Joburg, we've been a bit spoiled. We're
Yeah,
spoiled
yeah.
for choice. And I think a lot of us city dwellers, we kind of get that attitude of like, um, if if I don't go this week, then I'll be able to see that band again in a couple of weeks' time and whatnot. But like, places like Bloom, Nelspruit, and some of the small towns we've played here around the Western Cape, Worcester, like those folks just love it. And it's not necessarily going to be the biggest crowd that you're going to play,
It
but
isn't. Yeah.
the appetite that they have
Oh yeah, man. No,
for
I
a
know
mosh pit.
exactly what you mean. Yeah,
Anyways,
no,
sorry, I interrupted your story.
no, no, no.
Carry on, carry on.
Yeah, like very first show we played in Bloom, we were giving like the best time slot. Everyone's like, "Oh, you guys are headlining," and we're like, "What?
No,
What?"
why not?
Yeah, we're like, "Okay, first time playing here," and like everyone's like, "No, it's just us." Like everyone's been hearing about you guys, and if like everyone's hungry for like a Viking themed band. Like we don't have that shit yet. We've
Yeah,
never seen
yeah.
it, and we're like, "Well, fuck. Okay, we'll give it our best, I guess." And we got there, we played the show, and like how you mentioned, like those memorable shows. That's
Uh,
one of them. We always bring up that show, the very first time in Bloom. Man, I swear you could feel the fucking God's presence by
yeah,
us, dude. Like your ancestors, the gods, all of them were there partying off
yeah,
us that night, man. Like I even remember after the show, it's probably the most free beer and shooters I've been offered in my life. And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
Just
holy
just from
fuck.
happy people.
Yeah, man. And
Yeah,
like even the when we returned to Bloom for our next show, when we did the whole Unity Festival, even then, it's like people were just going fucking ham, man. It's like,
yeah,
Jesus, look at these circle pits. Like these people are just going at it,
yeah,
and like you kind of wish you could always have that energy at all the other shows. Like so many shows, especially kind of a lot of summer Joburg show. A lot of the people just kind of love to stand there and like enjoy it, but they aren't really fucking freaking out when
yeah.
the
I mean,
music.
they they obviously there because they want to be there,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
like, it's like they get it too often. It's
Yeah, yeah.
it doesn't
It's
have that same like as
yeah.
as a
It
place like in Bloom, where I mean, they obviously have also had a hard time through lockdown,
mm,
no shows and
mm,
stuff. But I think they were averaging like maybe two shows a year of like metal, or at least the way we think about metal. Um,
yeah, yeah.
or like sometimes one or two more shows if like a touring band of you know of of some sort would come through town. So if you think about that, like as an annual calendar, like who's not going to go to the show and who's not going to lose their shit?
I
So
did. No, it really comes down to what you say. Like people get spoiled at shows,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
when you
yeah,
go to those areas where it's not so like every weekend is not a metal show, you really see how much people appreciate metal and what it is,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you really feel that local is like a vibe.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this is something we're trying to do with our Metal for Africa festivals. We've done pretty well in Cape Town with our formula, our approach to putting on shows is that we try and create a lineup that most likely will never be seen again. Like in that
Mm,
exact
mm.
format.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I get you.
and yeah, to sometimes take a bit of a chance, a bit of a gamble with what we actually put on that stage. So for this one, we've got not one but two bands coming from Botswana. And yeah, it's not the first time that either of those bands have played Joburg. But then we've also got, so those are Skinflint and Rust. Don't know if you've ever seen any of those guys before.
I
Then
have
we've got,
actually. Yeah.
oh, really? Both of them or
Yeah.
just one?
I've seen Rust. I've seen
Ah,
Rust
okay.
before. Not Skinflint, so pretty excited to see what they bring to the table, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We actually had Skinflint down in Cape Town. I think it was 2019. And Rust, the last time we had them down in Cape Town was 2010. So,
Shit, man.
yeah,
Can't
it's
believe it's so
pretty.
long ago, eh?
Yeah, dude, the years just roll on by.
Yeah, man.
Like, you
Especially
can't
with
believe.
COVID, you feel like everyone's metal years have just got stolen from them.
Yeah, well, we lost 2 years of our lives, man.
Yeah,
But now we're gonna win them back.
yeah, it's time. It's time to get everything back and
Yeah.
going.
But then we've also got coming up to you guys. We've got Peasant from Cape Town. And then, yeah, it might feel like a bit of a cheat saying that you're not actually from Gauteng because that's the place where you've played the most. But technically, you're
Yes.
not from Gauteng.
Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, it says we stay in Secunda Mpumalanga, and that's not a lie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's still a
So
good fucking hour and fucking almost a 2 hour drive for us.
that's a
It's like,
trick, eh? That's
depending on
dedication.
traffic, if it's a good day, we can do it in an hour and 45 minutes. Bad day, it can easily take 2 hours.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other bands we've got playing with you guys are Resurrection of Fetal Remains, whom I believe you've done quite a few shows with. They're no
Yeah,
strangers to you
yeah.
guys,
Yeah,
hey?
no, we've played a lot of shows with them.
Yeah. And Deity's Muse and Urias. So, with that whole lineup sort of like mentioned, tell us a bit about what you think of who you're going to be rubbing shoulders with. Has there been any chatter among the band about what you guys haven't seen before?
I feel like kind of with us, especially being here far one side in a small little town, we don't really are in like this. You know how every metal scene has that little circle of everyone's talking and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like with us, we're really not in that circle. We usually rock up at shows,
Yeah.
see new shit, enjoy new stuff, and discuss what we liked and what we obviously didn't like.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So,
So this
so
is for you guys. This is an experience that still has to unfold itself.
exactly, man. Like I say, we're not really part of. It's difficult for us to always just rock out and go to shows, even
Yeah.
though we love to. Even if we're not playing.
Yeah,
there, like,
true. Just
to
as
go
a
and
casual
support it.
attendee,
Yeah.
you
Like we would
you can't
obviously
do that.
fucking love it, but it's so far, and
Yeah.
especially with the prices of fuel right now, man, it's impossible.
You're
So again, like I said, we kind of like I say, most scenes have that circle where everyone's always talking, and there's those people that are always at the shows. And for us, we never really part of any of those circles because we don't really see a lot of shows from like a fan's perspective, and we
yeah.
are very picky with what shows we play, not because we want to be like, oh, we're a better band than
But
everyone
because
else.
of
but
the investment you have to put in
Yeah,
to get
man, like,
there.
we have to travel. It's everyone's cars. It's staying there in guest houses for the night, and it's food. It's
Yeah.
like we always pay a shit ton to go to shows, and that's purely out of the passion we have for metal music.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah. Hectic, man.
yeah.
Well,
So
to whoever's watching this, guys, you better show up in force to support FenrisWulf.
yes, get your ass down there
Yeah.
and party like a real Viking.
Yeah, these guys have to paddle their longboat far for you guys, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
man.
Yeah, no, it sounds familiar. I mean, we were not that unfortunate, but I mean, most of my active performing life was also kind of living a bit removed from the city. But we were only like I don't know, an hour out at
Yeah, yeah.
most.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not too bad.
No, it's not too bad, but it had its advantages as well. Like
Mm.
we weren't as embroiled in some of the politics. Every scene has its politics, so like we were able to actually quietly develop ourselves outside of the rivalry of the scene that was
Yeah,
cropping
yeah,
up in
yeah.
those years,
I
which
know
was kind of
exactly
cool
what you're
actually.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it was lekker. And I think for us it made it more exciting too because we weren't playing every weekend either. So yeah,
Yeah,
maybe this
uh,
actually puts you guys in a stronger position in a bit of a roundabout way.
Yeah, like one thing I've noticed from all the shows we've played is, I mean, when we do play our shows and stuff, people are always so excited to see the band because they're not spoiled with Fenders.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they don't get to see us every second weekend or every second show. So whenever we do rock up, people are like, oh, you guys that Viking band, right? And we're like, yeah, we're that Viking band. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, bro, I can't wait to see you guys. I've heard so much about you.
Yeah.
And like, because everyone's like, oh, we hear a lot about you, but we never get to see you guys. And like, yeah, well, we know we're kind of like one side, but we're busy. We're writing music.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
fucking honing our craft. And we're always excited to come out and play the show. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And now tell us, speaking of your, I suppose we could call it isolation. We're not talking lockdown, but let's actually do talk lockdown a bit. How did you guys find the isolation of being sort of cooped up in Secunda during the pandemic? Was it a productive time for FenrisWulf, or was it like were you all low on energy and stamina like most of the rest of the world? Tell us a bit
Well,
about that.
Yeah, no, glad to get into it. So, first off, when COVID hit, it was a big fuck up for us because we just released our album Breaking the
Yeah.
Chains. So we had so many plans to go play everywhere with this album and just fucking, push and drive that album to the masses. And yeah, COVID was like, no, sir, you shall not be doing that.
None of that for you. No.
Yeah, like we just played a Viking themed festival in Honeydew still, which was this whole fucking Viking themed party, and everyone's cosplaying, and
Yeah.
it was fucking cool. And like we had so many shows lined up. We were still supposed to do Death Spring as one, beer launch, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of cool stuff lined up, and obviously COVID came and stopped that. Like, but again, I mean, we just released the album, we got the hype, and now you can't really do much with it. The stock just
It's
like
like dead in the
okay,
water.
yeah, so that was quite a big bummer for us. Like, we worked so hard on getting that album out, and like all the hours we put in the writing and practice and stuff, and then we couldn't really do much with it. It was just like on online platforms, go listen to it, but we couldn't go play the songs for people, nothing. So
Yeah. Ugh.
that was a fuck up. But so when COVID just started, at first chunk, maybe a good 6-7 months, I don't think we practiced at all, obviously because of how strict lockdown was, right?
Yeah,
So we didn't really practice because obviously, being a more smaller town, if you go and practice, everyone's gonna start talking. And
Yeah,
you're
they'll
scared to
know.
go- Yeah, you're scared. Some douchebag who's annoyed with lockdown will go tell the cops, "Hey, these people are getting together and
Yeah.
they're not supposed to." So we kind of avoided practice for that first while.
Yeah.
But once we did eventually start practicing again, it wasn't like it sucked that we couldn't do our album anymore or go play our shows we had planned, but we had a lot of inspiration and some cool shit we were writing.
Yeah.
And out of that whole thing, our newest single came out, Woven Fate, that we didn't release too long ago.
Yeah.
And I will say we did get kind of a bit of a sound change if you listen to Breaking the Chains going into Woven Fate. And I
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
feel that might be because of COVID, that built up frustration,
Yeah, yeah.
getting a more raw, aggressive sound.
Yeah, you guys
to-
have got some
Yeah.
epic, clean vocal passages in
Yes,
that
yes,
song, eh? Which I'm
yes.
not sure you had in previous
No.
releases.
Before it was all just distorted vocals,
Yeah, yeah,
nothing
yeah, yeah.
clean.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of experimenting, and yes, and even the newer stuff we're currently working on is insane compared to our album. So
Yeah.
we really can't wait to just unleash all this music we've written. We have so much shit written.
Nice,
I
man.
feel like if we haven't how can I say, built up a catalog of the songs that's written and ready to be produced, we'll probably forget about 80% of them. There's just so many shit we're working on.
Well, then you guys better get busy, man.
Yeah, man. We got a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
We got a lot of
Excellent.
ideas. So-
Well, I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that we can just be a part of helping you getting that momentum back for whatever was robbed of you in the bloody pandemic nonsense.
Oh, no,
Because there
definitely,
was so many
definitely.
bands had their legs pulled out from under them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
we lost also quite a few bands, I believe, during the whole COVID pandemic. I mean, a lot of bands stopped, and
True.
that kind of sucked, man.
true. But also we got a few bands birthed out of it. So
Yes,
it's
that's also true.
Yeah, it's like the cycle of life here.
Yeah, man.
I'm actually part of one band that was kind of made redundant during lockdown, but I'm also part of a band that was brought to life through lockdown. So yeah, it's it's a very strange time, very very strange thing to have to process internally how something dies but another thing opens up.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just have to see. It's kind of like now we're in this stage where we're taking stock and seeing who's still who's still standing, how strong are they standing,
Yeah.
and for a lot of bands, lockdown was actually in retrospect a beneficial time to take stock, regather
Yeah.
the what do we call it, the intellectual resources.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Well, look, we're going to see you in a very short period of time. I'm just going to quickly repeat a few of the details of that festival to our viewers.
Okay,
So,
man.
my friends, that is 3rd of September, Cape Town and Joburg. But if you've been watching this chat tonight, then you hopefully are from Joburg, and you're definitely going to get around to seeing FenrisWulf. I think FenrisWulf, you guys are playing at 6:30, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. So that's a 7-band lineup, starting with Urias, followed by Skinflint from Botswana. I think then it's you guys, FenrisWulf, followed by, if I'm not mistaken, Rust, also from Botswana. And then the other three bands on the lineup is Resurrection of Fetal Remains, Deity's Muse, and Peasant from Cape Town. I hope I got all that right. My friends, it's going to cost 180 Rand a ticket. You can buy those online now if you like. That's at metal4africa.com. You can also buy tickets at the door at both festivals. It's 200 Rand entrance at Cape Town and at Joburg. But yeah, if you want to save that $20, buy it online. Yeah, what else is there to say, man?
Hey, man.
Row that boat.
All we can say is, it's fucking awesome to just be back doing shows. I mean, we had a big break thanks to COVID. I believe a lot of bands know this feeling, and it's just nice to be back, man. This is our second show for the year, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The first one was what? Untertakt.
Yes.
How was that?
Dude,
Actually,
that was
no,
a
man.
lot of
We
fun,
got time.
man.
Tell us about the festival. We don't need
that
to sign
was-
off yet.
Yeah. Fuck that. Let's chat.
Yeah.
No, that was cool, man. It was a very fun experience, and it was something different. Again, a venue I believe none of us ever have played before. Even some of the bands are always playing in Joburg and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty cool new venue.
And it was it was a stayover festival, like.
Yes, we camped there as well, man.
That's
It
lekker.
was the whole 9 yards, dude. Yeah, that was really lekker. So we had a lot of fun with that. Sadly, just little sound issues that happened during the night.
Yeah.
So a lot of the dudes got quite pissed from the bands,
Uh-oh.
struggling with the sound. I
But that's always the risk of a stayover festival. Is like some acts are going to get a bit out of hand.
yeah, man.
But that's half the fun as well.
It is. Dude, it's part of the experience, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you fucking live and learn, right? So we already told like France, like, next one, Venus will be there again. We loved it, we enjoyed
Yeah.
it, and we just like to see how it grows, man. I mean,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
need
yeah.
more festivals and new stuff happening. So
And I mean, that festival was kind of geared, just looking at the lineup, if I remember correctly, it was geared more towards like the sort of like extreme end of the metal spectrum. Am
Yes,
I right
yeah.
in saying so?
yeah, we had a lot of like more of the heavier bands and like
Yeah.
the crazier stuff, and
Yeah.
a lot of bands that surprised me as well and whatnot.
So what do you say? Extreme metal up there in the north, up in Gauteng and surrounds, is alive and well.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. No, I was very happy to see that, especially for us going to a show again for the first time since COVID. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's
Yeah,
great to
yeah.
be back. We had
And it's a
that,
camp out.
yeah, man, and it was a camp out. It was so much fucking fun. We were just freezing our balls off though. 'Cause it was like in the middle of winter, so
Yeah. There's always a price to pay.
yeah, man. No, it was really cool, dude. And
Yeah. We
Yeah,
did this
like-
thing out. We did this thing out in the Klein Karoo. Well, this was during lockdown, but it was according to the rules of lockdown at the time. But it was May month, and yes, this May month in the crew gets cold, eh?
Oh shit, yeah.
So like we trying to play, but like between every song, it's like warming up their hands, just to be able to play the strings. Oh,
Yeah, man. It
That's
was like when we played that show, like, obviously our first one in so long, we actually were nervous about that one. We were like, Jesus, can we still do this, boys? It's been so long,
yeah, but it's like
Like-
riding a bicycle, eh?
Yeah, exactly, man. Like once that first fucking chord goes out, you like just hear that amp sing. You're like, fuck yeah, we've got this. Let's do this,
Yeah.
boys. Let's have a good time. And that's one of the things I always appreciate with Fenris plays is we always get fucking good crowd interaction.
Yeah.
People singing a song, especially with our one song, Wolves of Odin. That's like such a crowd pleaser song. Everyone's always singing the lyrics with, and fucking Henku hands out the mic, and people are just like singing it. And I'm like, Jesus, people know this lyric
Yeah,
so
yeah,
well
yeah,
to this song.
yeah.
So
But
Yeah,
it's
it's
lekker.
always
You know,
good,
it's a catchy melody. It's like
Yeah.
easy to remember words. Like
Yeah, yeah.
those are the winning recipe of a crowd interaction.
it is, man. So and now with the Metal for Africa show, we've been practicing really hard, just getting ready for it. Like we were busy with a lot of writing, and we kind of put that on hold just to focus on our set list, get everything down, and just be sure we give a killer show for everyone over
Yeah.
there in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool, man. Well, we look forward to it.
yeah, man.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to say cheers and thank you so much for your time to come and chat with me tonight.
Yeah, man. I say
it's
thanks for
always-
having me, dude. It was a lot of fun, man.
Oh, dude, it's so cool just getting to know the people a bit better behind the music and like the context of the music,
Yeah,
Because I think
yeah.
with metal, a lot of people forget that for the most part, we actually all out just to have some fucking good fun.
Yeah, man. I mean,
So,
it's,
yeah,
it's the passion that drives us. I mean,
exactly.
We don't all like go, oh, I'm going to start a metal band to be like famous or rich. A lot of us
Yeah,
started just to have a
dude.
great fucking time, man. I
Yeah.
mean, You've got all this passion and creativity that you just need to like direct somewhere. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. All right, my brother. Cheers for now, and we'll catch you on the third.
sweet. Cheers, my brother.
Awe. All right, friends. That was Johan de Toit from FenrisWulf. Oh, I can't wait to see that band in Cape Town. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be at the Joburg show, so I'm going to miss them this time around. But I've made a promise to myself that I will watch FenrisWulf live someday. So yeah, I'd just like to finish off tonight just by saying some thank you to our sponsors. At the Cape Town Festival, we've been in partnership for many long years with Paul Bothner Music. They've always taken good care of us with Laney amplification, Mapex drums, and lately they're taking care of us with the equipment we're using to do this online stuff. So yeah, a lot of appreciation to them. And my friends, tickets, like we said, you can get them at metal4africa.com. And just take note that ticket sales via online will actually close on the 31st of August. So if you don't get them by then, you will then have to buy tickets at the door. But that's not a problem. I believe both venues are large enough. So we'll see you there one way or the other. Cheers, friends.